All right, welcome everybody. My name is Kelly Collins, and I'm the Experiential Learning Coordinator here at the University of Tulsa in the Center for Career Development and Professional Engagement, otherwise known as Kane Careers. And today we are going to talk to you about the Transfer Student's Guide to Internships and Mentors. Before we get started, we have a couple of housekeeping items that we want to go through. First of all, this is in meeting format, so please make sure that as you join us, you have your microphone on mute, and depending on your preference, you may keep your camera on or off. We hope to have meaningful discussions throughout the presentation, so feel free to ask questions either in the chat box or using your mic. And this meeting is being recorded and will be available for replay on our website and TU's YouTube channel. All right, before we get started, I'm going to talk to you about some of the things you're going to take away with you from this presentation. First of all, you're going to be able to use Handshake to search for internships relevant to your major. You'll also be able to navigate utulsaconnect.com to find mentors in your field of study, and you'll be able to connect with your career coaches to assist with resume building, interview prep, internship searches, and other aspects of professional development. And speaking of career coaches, this is your team. And Dante, I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself briefly.
Sure. My name is Dante Dowdy. I am the career coach for the Collins College of Business. I'm a recent person added to the team. However, my love is to resource students so they are resilient in their careers. And so anything you need help for on the business side, I'm here.
Thank you. And Chris?
My name is Christopher Wong, Chris Wong. I'm the career coach for College of Engineering and Natural Sciences, and very happy to be here. And I'm very happy to assist with any ENS students who are transfer students and need some help with their career journey. Thank you.
And Dr. Sigler?
Hi, everyone. My name is Cassandra Crawford Sigler, also known as Dr. C. My role at the University of Tulsa is to help students who are in health sciences or pre-health professions. So a lot of students who come to the University of Tulsa are transfer students who are interested in pursuing health professions. So if that is you, I would love to connect with you and help you pursue your professional degree beyond the University of Tulsa and seek that professional career.
And Brooke Smart, who is unable to join us today, she is your career coach for the Kendall College of Arts and Sciences. My name is Kelly Collins. I'm your Experiential Learning Coordinator. The best way I can describe my job is that I help you find meaningful learning experiences outside of the classroom. So you can always come to me if you have questions about informational interviews, job shadowing, or need help seeking internships. All right, so let's go ahead and get started today. Okay, the main reason that we're all here is to learn how to navigate Handshake to find ourselves internships and jobs. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to create yourself a Handshake profile. And once you've done that, you will have a homepage that looks very similar to this. And let me go ahead and start this video. And on your Handshake homepage, there are 6 buttons at the top. And today we're going to talk about 3 of those buttons. We're going to talk a little bit about the jobs button, the employers button, and the career paths button. All 3 of those will be useful when you're trying to find internships. So the first one we're going to talk about is the jobs tab. So we'll go ahead and click on that and open it up. And when that pops up, you will find a search page where you can search different jobs and internships. And right now we have 5.6 thousand jobs available on our Handshake platform. And the reason that you want to use Handshake is because our employer services team vets all of those internships and jobs. And so you kind of know that they aren't necessarily a scam. And right now we have 1.8 thousand internships available. If you find one that you're interested in, you can go ahead and click on that and flag it, and it will show up on your homepage. You can also type in your major. And once that happens, you'll notice that 110 internships showed up for music majors. And when you scroll through those, you'll notice that some are remote, Some are virtual and some are in your area. You can click on the ones that are interesting to you, or you can apply directly from that page. Once you have flagged those internships that you're interested in, when you go back to your home page, you will notice that those are already listed. In just a second, we'll show you. Those are already listed under jobs you have saved. And what makes this useful for you is that they rate them in order of application deadline. So this is the most recent application deadline. So that will be first on my list, and I'll know that I flagged it because I was interested in it and I want to make sure I don't miss that deadline. So that is in a nutshell how you can use Handshake to find an internship. All right, does anybody have anything that they want to add on there? You good? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next video, which is how to follow certain employers on Handshake. This is an incredibly useful tool, especially if you have possibly already, found an internship that you like and you want to do a little bit more investigation of the company. So you can search that employer on Handshake by clicking the employers button. And when that pops up, you can enter that company's name in the search box. And I'm entering innovation because I'm already following innovation controls. And when I click on that company, you'll notice that I've got it already flagged with a star. But what makes this really useful is that I can keep on top of when they post jobs. I also can see other students that have worked at that company, which is really useful information if I want to message someone and ask how their experience was. And this is really beneficial, and a lot of our students don't know about it. You can actually look at reviews from other students that have had internships at that company. So Molly, who interned there previously, she put down what she liked, what she wished was different, and gave advice. Okay, and then if you look down at Evan's experience, okay, he talks a little bit about what he liked and he gives advice. Always ask questions when you have them. You're there to learn and help, neither of which can happen if you sit there stuck. Okay, so that's really helpful information from somebody that has already done an internship there. They also posted advice on their interviews. So they told you what the interview process was like. And they also talk a little bit about what questions were asked. And Molly's interview was different than Evan's. He even gave a couple of questions that were asked about how comfortable are you with electrical harnessing, and do you know what CAN communication is and how it works. So that is a very useful tool for students that are looking for internships. It's kind of like a inside information before you go into those interviews. Okay, and the next thing we're going to talk about just briefly is we're going to talk a little bit about career paths. Okay, so if you think you may be interested in a certain career, you can go ahead and click on the Career Paths tab. When you see the search box pop up, I'm going to type in teachers on this tab. When you see that pop up, you can narrow it down, or you can just click on the button that is available. So we'll click on elementary school teachers. And then a lot of information pops up at once. First, you're going to see jobs that already have elementary school teachers tagged in their profile, but also it gives you salary information, top cities for that role. And it also shows you top majors that are interested in that role. And if you notice, for elementary school teachers, it's not just elementary education majors that are interested. There's psychology, English, and biology. And you can also see other students that are in that role. All right, and so we're going to move on to the 4 tips to get you started on Handshake. First and foremost, you want to make sure that you complete your profile. At that point, that is when you want to make sure that you're connecting with your career coach so that they can help you with any questions you may have on your Handshake profile. They can also help you fine-tune your resume and your cover letter, which can also be uploaded to Handshake. Okay, you're going to want to use the Explore Your Career Paths tab, and that's going to help you do your research before you begin those internships. Use the Jobs tab search for your internships, and also make sure you're flagging employers that you are interested in by using the Employers tab. And right now, I'm going to ask our career coaches a couple of questions. What advice would you give a student that is just getting started on their Handshake profile? What are some key things you want to make sure that they have available? Cassandra, would you be able to take that one?
Sure. To be honest, when a student is starting their Handshake, their profile, it's pretty much like doing their resume. So you want to make sure, just like you have up here, that your Handshake profile is complete. So you want to make sure that you, first of all, you want to have a professional photo so that the employers or internship programs can see who you are. You want to make sure that you fill out each section as completely as possible. And if you're struggling with what to put in those sections, you can make an appointment with your career coach to see how to fill out each of those sections. But the employer or the internship program, they're going to take a look at each of those sections and kind of see how your experiences that you've had, whether it be work or whether it be at the institution, whether you've had volunteer experience, leadership experience, they're going to look at that and see how it matches up with the job description that you've looked at and investigated there on Handshake. So that would be the best experience or best advice that I would give you to start out on Handshake. Just start filling out each one of those sections and putting some information in there. Your career coach can help you fine tune that information.
So, and that's really helpful because Handshake has a lot of filters already. And so as you fill out your sections, it will start showing you jobs and internships that kind of link with your experiences that you already have and your major. So that's really helpful to help you start looking for those specific jobs and internships. Okay, so next we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about finding a mentor on utulsaconnect.com. And this is a really interesting website that combines students with university alumni, along with friends of the university. So people that make profiles on the University of Tulsa, utulsaconnect.com website are always looking to make connections and network. And this is a little video that is of our utulsaconnect.com. It's set up very much like Facebook. So you have your main feed in the middle. Your profile is up on the right-hand side, and just below your profile are recent jobs, which alumni usually will post jobs that they have available from their place of employment. And then you have the main feed. This was recorded in September, so they're a little bit dated, but it just had a lot of stuff on there for the homecoming week events, things that students and alumni alike would be interested in learning about. But right now we're going to click on the mentoring tab, which is on the left-hand side. And there are several different ways that you can search for your own mentor. You can search for them in your area. So let's say maybe you don't live in Broken Arrow, but you live maybe in Dallas. You can search for mentors that are in that area. You can search by job function, by industry, and by company. And so if you notice the University of Tulsa, and it says University of Tulsa also has several mentors that work here on campus. So if you're looking for someone to connect with on campus, you can do that as well. So right now we're going to scroll up to the Find Your Own Mentor, and I'm going to type a name in of someone that I know that I think might like to connect with me and might be able to give me some valuable information about the career path that I'm choosing. And so I typed in Brooke Smart's name, and her profile popped up, and it says willing to help right above her profile picture. And you need to make sure that people you're looking for have that willing to help up there above their profile picture, because if it doesn't have that, that usually just means that they're an alumni that is just looking to stay connected with university activities and events, they want to stay up to date with things, or they may be a student that is also looking for a mentor and they're not quite in a position where they're ready to meet with someone and give advice. But I know she's willing to help, so I'm going to click on her profile picture, and then her profile will pop up. And at that time, I can click on message, and let's say I am interested in getting some information about our career paths, and I can introduce myself, tell her what my major is and what I'm thinking about doing, and ask if perhaps she might be available for an informational interview, and we can begin to make a connection that way. Once I've done that, I can hit send, and usually they will respond back in a relatively timely manner because they're pretty excited to share their experiences with another student. And remember, you'll have a connection with these people because they are graduates at the University of Tulsa, or they are working closely with the university in many different aspects. So that's one way that you can find a mentor using utulsaconnect.com. All right, so we have now come to the end of our presentation, and I'm going to stop my screen share and we're going to discuss a few questions with our panel. So my first question I have that has come up is, what if my major already has an internship requirement? Do I still need to find an internship or experience? And Cassandra, I'll let you take this one.
Sure. That's actually a question, a really good question, and one that I get a lot of the times, especially given the students that I help. Because in health professions, I would say most of my majors, not all of my majors, do have some kind of built-in internship requirement in their degree plan. But what I will say is that any experience that you can get above and beyond even a required internship component is going to help you grow and help you leverage yourself to go above and beyond and sell yourself when you are looking for that first job component. It's also going to help you when you're searching for, additional for that internship. If they're looking to, if it's a competitive internship. So if you are looking to go to a place that's going to look for a candidate for an internship, if you've got some experience already, then that may help place you above one candidate versus another. So, and our office is specifically, as you have just demonstrated, able to help students find through Handshake and other means, places to do volunteering, internships and externships experiences in all different areas, whether it's myself in the healthcare arena, or whether it's with Chris, with Wong in engineering, natural sciences, with Brooke in arts and sciences, and now with Dante in business. So the students just need to reach out to us. And obviously with you being our experiential learning coordinator, you are our overall guru who kind of goes out and finds all of these for us. So that's what I would tell the students to do, is take advantage of any opportunity they have to build their resume and their experience. And the last thing I'll say is kind of a little long-winded. This is a time when students in college, it's kind of a unique 4-year period where they're never going to have this opportunity ever again. So, take advantage of what TU has to offer and go out and do something that they might never, think that they would ever want to do, and go experience something new and do something that they, might not ever think that they would have an opportunity to do.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And I was an education major in college, and I was fortunate enough to have done a couple of internships before I started my student teaching, which a lot of times students that are in education, they just take the classes, and then their first introduction to a classroom might be that student teaching. Well, they're already a junior by the time they're doing that sometimes, and they walk into that classroom with 30 plus kids, and especially elementary, you kind of get a little bit overwhelmed. And I would also, kind of to piggyback off of what Cassandra said, I would also highly recommend maybe between that freshman and sophomore year, getting some experience in what you think that you want to major in or what you are majoring in, and make sure that that's something that you want to do instead of waiting until the very end when you do those internships that are built into your program, because that's a really eye-opening time if you haven't had that experience before then. All right, so our next question is, and Chris, I'm going to let you answer this one. When should I start applying for internships?
That is a good question. Internships can be applied for at the start of the freshman year, because there are internships, there are experiential opportunities that are available for freshmen after their freshman year, the summer after or between their freshman and sophomore year. And that should grow, and that should be particularly more important to sophomores after their sophomore year. The opportunities grow much more, almost exponentially, especially in the technical realm, engineering and other technical industries. So it's never too early. As soon as a student hits a freshman year, they can get with a career coach. They can make sure they have their documents ready and prepared, and start competing and applying for opportunities for the summer after their freshman year. Sophomores, juniors should really focus heavily on getting good, solid internships and looking at all the possibilities and the opportunities, because there are many for those. And then after junior year, of course, the seniors are some of them are still looking for internships because that fits their career path. But then, of course, they'll be looking at full-time opportunities if they'd like to go full-time in industry after they graduate. So I guess long answer, it's never too early. And freshmen can certainly start looking at preparing and applying for internships right off the bat.
Awesome. Okay, so I have another question, and Dante, I'm going to send this one your direction. I get very nervous during interviews. What is some advice that can help me quell those nerves a little bit before my interview?
Sure. So some things to do in order to make sure that our anxiety level is calm walking into interviews is to make sure that we've had practice. And one of the great things we offer here at Career Services is the ability to do mock interviews. When you face questions again and again and again, you get more and more comfortable with how to answer them and making sure that you're giving the correct type of answer, but also that you're showcasing everything about your experience. So having that experience with your career coach can drastically improve how comfortable you are in an interview, but then also to know that interviews, you shouldn't think necessarily about your entire career and place all that anxiety on one interview. You want to take it one step at a time. You want to take a deep breath. You want to make sure that you are calm and focused beforehand, that you have your notes prepared. But also it's just a conversation between yourself and an employer. It is a time for you to talk about yourself, your experience, to find more out about the experience that you want to have with them. And so coming prepared with questions that you want to ask, but then also just to put your best self forward. So don't put every weight of the world on top of your shoulders. Just go in and ready to have a conversation and allow them to ask questions and for you to respond.
That's really good advice. And I think that students, the more that they see our faces, will be more comfortable with coming and approaching us and asking for help in those interview situations. So again, if you are getting ready to have a job interview or internship interview, go ahead and make an appointment with your career coach so that you can make sure that you're presenting your best self and that you will be comfortable and know that you're prepared. All right, that's all I have for questions, but I am going to share my screen one more time. And if you wouldn't mind, please follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Kane Careers. Look for our video playlist on our workshops and events tab at kanecareers.com. And again, I wanted to thank everyone for joining us today. There will be a brief survey at the end of this webinar, and please take the time to fill out that survey because we really value your feedback and we want to make sure that we're gearing our programming towards what you want to learn. So thank you and have a great day.